everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. And again, as usual, my famous cat's tail comes inside the screen or knocks my ring light over. Tinkerbell absolutely adores being part of my YouTube videos. I don't know what it is, if I think it's just my voice talking to a camera that she wants to be right here, because I can have the same thing happen when I am FaceTiming with any friend. It doesn't have to be just a specific person, like she has to be right here. So I don't know if she thinks that I'm FaceTiming somebody. Well, I kind of am. I'm kind of filming videos for the world. But she always likes to pop her tail in back and forth. But anyways, today's video is a video I've wanted to do again for a long time, like my Love 'Em Your video. And that is kind of regarding why I now use Baqsimi as my glucagon of choice. It is a intranasal glucagon, meaning that it's not the full red emergency glucagon kit that everybody's used to, where you have the pre-filled powder and the liquid that has to be mixed together and then drawn up in a vial, out of a vial and a syringe, and injected into somebody's thigh like an EpiPen. It is all done and pre-mixed for you, ready to go basically. All you have to do is unwrap it, pull the plunger down, activate it by pulling back, and then insert it into somebody's nose, and then you're able to actually administer glucagon to them via the nose. It'll kind of leak into the mucosal tissue sitting in the nose, and then from there it'll be able to go to the liver and raise blood sugar. So I know I did a video on glucagon's importance as to why you need to have one as a type 1 diabetic, so I'll remember to link that down below. But I'll do a kind of a quick refresh on glucagon and really why it's important to have it, even if you don't have really crazy brittle diabetes. Now, if you're a brittle type 1 diabetic, or you have like gastroparesis or other autoimmune diseases, it is more important that you keep one of these, more so than just, you know, type 1 diabetes is all I have to deal with, but I still keep it. It is important to have because there may be a time when you have low blood sugars that no matter what you do or what situation you're in, that you may not be able to get that blood sugar up, or you may be unconscious from a low blood sugar, and the only thing that's going to help you at that point, until medical personnel can arrive, is glucagon administered by somebody else. So I always recommend that you sit down with your close circle of family or friends that you're around a lot and show and explain them what to do and how to use this. For me, that would be like my parents, a couple of very close friends that know how to use this. In the event that I'm with them, I passed out from a low, I can no longer obviously talk, I can't take care of myself, so I need to have somebody use glucagon on me. Now, I've never actually personally have had to use glucagon, either the traditional kits or the Baqsimi, since being diagnosed, and I'm very lucky for that. I have come close, just because of how dangerously low I was dropping. I was in the 30s and it was continuing to drop. No matter how much food I was eating or liquid, it would not come up, and it was very scary and very dangerous, but luckily I was able to get myself out of that situation. But I was thankful I had a glucagon kit ready to go. So Baqsimi is a newer version, and I don't know if all insurances cover it, but this is a 3 milligram glucagon nasal powder. I believe it is also 3 milligrams, or maybe it's 1 milligram. I think it's a smaller or about the same version that's in the traditional red kit. I can't quite remember. For children, you typically do a half dose, or if you chronically need glucagon a lot, say you have gastroparesis and your body doesn't digest food at the appropriate rates, your blood sugar may go lower continuously, and your body may not be able to absorb juice or foods that you need to correct that low. So the only way you can correct a low at that point is to have glucagon, and so you can do micro doses of glucagon either via the Baqsimi or via the regular glucagon injection. So one of the things I like about glucagon is you could typically get it in a 1 or a 2 pack. I think I get the 1 pack for like 25 or 30 bucks, but I've noticed that it lasts 2 years shelf life versus the traditional glucagon I had, where you had to renew it every year. So I got this glucagon in like 2019. It expired in October of 2021, so it literally just expired, and I got a new one from my endocrinologist, and actually she is kind of the one that prompted me to get this after doing some explanations and saying, oh, this is a new thing, this is a lot easier for a caretaker to administer, and I kind of read up on it, and I'm like, sure, let's go for it, because to me, I think if I was in a situation, even as a type 1 diabetic, and I was helping another type 1 diabetic that was passed out from a low, I think maybe the anxiety might be too heavy on me to administer everything. Now, I could probably stay calm enough to do it, but I feel like if any other person were around you to try to treat your glucagon low with glucagon, I think it would be a very hard time for them to draw everything up, mix everything together, put it in your thigh, and pray for the best. They're probably going to be nervous, they're going to be anxious, and they're going to want to do something very, very quickly to help you. So this is a very quick and easy way for them to do that without having to try to mess with a needle and accidentally stick themselves, give them a needle injury, and then of course they have a needle injury and they administer it to you, and if they're, heaven forbid, that person or personnel that are helping you are positive for some sort of very nasty bloodborne pathogen, you have that chance of getting it because it is an intramuscular injection that's going to go right to the bloodstream. So this Baqsimi is a much safer method in my opinion. Now, the Baqsimi is probably a few inches tall. As you can tell, I'm kind of holding it up. It comes in kind of a yellow and gray and white case. It is completely sealed up until you're ready to use this. And they also say do not open this until you're ready to use it. It literally does say exactly how to use this on here, so people don't have to sit and try to fuddle. In the old kit that had the little strip on it where it would have the little instructional tablet for them to read or instructional papers. And also, of course, you have your instructions for Baqsimi or Baqsimi use here, and you literally open it up and it gives you all the information regarding that. So I'll quick give you some information from Baqsimi.com. That's probably the best resource that you can have for getting it. If your insurance doesn't cover it, well, mine does. The same amount, it costs the same amount as me is to get a traditional glucagon. I'm sure you can get a savings card. I think initially that's what I was going to end up doing because I don't think my endocrinologist and I were sure if my insurance at the time was going to cover it, but it did because it was a newer thing. Typically insurances can be a son of a gun when it comes to covering newer diabetes technology. As a matter of fact, I still buy my CGMs outright. They do not cover my CGM supplies very well. They will cover my pump supplies. So again, it depends on your insurance, but I'd recommend giving it a try, even if you can only get it in a savings. Baqsimi is technically the first and only dry nasal spray to treat emergency low blood sugar. So it's actually drier spray. It's not a full wet kind of nasal mist. It's probably administered like a powder. But it does go into the mucosal tissue in your nose because your nose is moist and wet, and that's how you're going to absorb it. So there's actually a few contraindications for Baqsimi, which is something I didn't know. For people who should not use it, it's people that have what we call a tumor on top of their adrenal gland, which is called pheochromocytoma, which literally means that there is a tumor sitting on top of their adrenal glands. The adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys. Adrenal glands are responsible for producing adrenaline and some of the other hormones that your body uses. So if you have those tumors, you cannot take Baqsimi, as well as if you have a tumor in your pancreas called an insulinoma, which again, it would be more of a tumor based in the actual part of the pancreas that produces insulin. And then, of course, if you have allergies to any type of glucagon or Baqsimi or ingredients in Baqsimi. And then below that, it does say that you can download a savings card to get 2 of them for $25, which is a pretty good deal. There's no refrigeration required. It can work up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. It's compact and it's portable. This is much smaller than the kit that I initially had to carry. I could literally hold it in my hand or put it in my pocket. And then it's simple to use, of course, and simple to explain to somebody else. So as I recommended, as I said, I recommend that you train your family on how to use whatever type of emergency glucagon you have, whether it's the traditional injection or this one, in the event that you can no longer take care of yourself. So I think what I'll do is, because I don't have my cat in here right now, I don't want to have that administered to her on accident. I will go through and actually show you guys how this operates and how this works. So just like anything else, you're in an emergency situation, somebody's passed out. You're going to also want to call 911 after you administer this. And I know my endocrinology office has the policy where you use glucagon, you have to inform them as well, just so that they are aware that in the event that you may be starting to have some sort of brittle diabetes issue, or there may need to be some major changes made with your dosing or whatever because you had a severe low. So anyways, you take off the little protective cap. You don't remove the shrink wrap till you're ready to use, and then this you simply pull off. So then it's going to unveil this whole entire thing here. So this is a protective cap, kind of like, this is like the equivalent of the little red shell that your needle and your vial would sit in, and your powder for your traditional glucagon kit. And again, there's directions right on here on how to use it, as well as an expiration date. Do not use anything that's expired, especially when it comes to glucagon, because in the event that you are in a dangerous little situation, you want active powder to use. So once you have it, it's ready to go. This actually gets inserted into somebody's nose. I'm not going to do it to mine because I will end up probably sky high. But it literally is inserted into somebody's nose at that point. And once it's inserted all the way, basically you're going to go up until you can't touch anything anymore. Probably within the first maybe half an inch of the nose, because you're going to butt up against some of the sinus concha in there and some of the cartilage. So you can't really drive it really high up there, but you would probably get it up to, if you're in my nose, you would probably get it up to about here. Once it's inside the nose, you literally push this green plunger until it meets all the way up to this second base. And once that green plunger is in, I would probably leave it in there for a good few seconds just to make sure all the powder goes into somebody's nostril. And then you can go ahead and pull it out and again lay them on their side, because glucagon, as you know, it can induce vomiting and all kinds of other things once that person's awake. And then of course seek medical help for that person, because they've just suffered a very severe episode of hypoglycemia and they need to seek that help to make sure that they're not going to end up going severely low again, and only a qualified healthcare professional can help out with that. So as again, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to back myself up in the event that it sprays everywhere. So you just push and then it goes through, and I can't even see it. It's powdery. There it goes. That's it. And I just quickly evacuated myself out of this room in the event that the powder released. I quickly walked out of here because I don't want to breathe it in the event that it's going to give me any type of crazy reaction. But anyways, that's how you work with glucagon in the event that somebody gets super duper low and they're passed out with a nasal spray. So hopefully that makes sense, and I used my expired kit, so I don't have to worry about it sitting on my shelf. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post as often as I can about type 1 diabetes plus more. Stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and share what I got for Christmas this year. And then I'll go through and come up with more videos as my channel continues to grow. I've got a whole list of ideas, so please stay tuned. So until next time, for another video, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. And I love you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.